All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the One Day Closer podcast. I am your host, Jay. We'll cut that short today. All right. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. Sending out love to everyone. Thank y'all for all the support. And thank you for joining me for episode 2, season 4 of the podcast. I'm telling you, man, I know y'all hear me say it a million times, but this very therapeutic for me, and I appreciate those who join me on this journey. So just a little brief recap. In that last episode, I talked about kind of the current state of my health problems and insurance problems, and that's not getting any better. We'll talk some more about that in a moment. But I also had touched on men's health. Right, from June is Men's Health Month, and as we wrap things up, one thing I neglected to do in that last episode is I wanted to give out the suicide hotline. The hotline number is 988. Easy to remember, right? 988. Depression is real. I've talked about my struggles with depression. And guys, reach out for help. It changed my life. That and just a deeper relationship with God and faith in Jesus has done wonders. But I wanted to get that out. So again, suicide hotline is 988. And the website where there's resources is 988lifeline.org. 988lifeline.org for the National Suicide website there. So that was something I neglected to include on that last episode when I was talking about men's health. So I wanted to get that out there too. And, also talked about God's grace. And I'm going to say part 2 of that today. So I hope that gave y'all some things to think about. And we'll just kind of jump right into it. So, dealing with the ongoing health problems in insurance. So, health-wise, we're doing all right, considering. I've been without my treatments now, and I've missed 2 treatments. And actually, I will say right now the body is doing surprisingly well, considering. But man, you just gotta love, insurance is not paying the infusion center where I get my treatments, and the infusion center is cut me off. So, that would lead me to the question, right? Is our healthcare system broken or what? I have these treatments that I require, and I will require the rest of my life. And literally, you know, um, insurance and the infusion center are blaming each other, right? Insurance says the infusion center is not billed correctly, and the infusion center says they've billed it correctly and rebuild it and rebuild it and rebuild it. And the insurance company keeps making excuses. I'll be honest, I'm going to probably side on the insurance company side, and I think there's a problem with the infusion center not providing the information they're told to provide. But man, is the system broken? I was at my general practitioner just for a regular checkup, the obligatory 6-month checkup. And I go, and everyone should, right? At least once a year. I go twice a year to my general, and I also go twice a year to my neuromuscular specialist. And, even he had to shake his head. And then this is a physician that's probably been practicing, 35 years. And he's like, it's so indicative, right, that the system is broken. And if the system is broken, then what can be done about it? Well, just food for thought. I wish I had the answer to that. I definitely would say it's not socialized medicine, because we know from looking around the world how the level of care drops. And then we're fortunate here in the United States to have a high level of care. But man, there's stuff like this that just makes me scratch my head and just say, what are we dealing with? I don't get it. So, um, we're holding out faith. I always talk about have faith in Jesus, and I'm going to tell you, it is I've had to rely on just a lot of trust and faith in Jesus right now because, me and this disease stressed us. It kind of creates more problems for me with the disease. But I mean, I think we could all agree in general, right? Stress is not good for your health. Unfortunately for me, it really is detrimental to my health. So I've had to learn how to just kind of trust Jesus and rely on that peace. Let my faith take over where I'm not walking by sight. And, I refuse to let this stuff get me upset. I have friends and family members will say, you need to, really be just calling these people every day and getting in their ear, right? The squeaky wheel gets the grease, and I do agree with that. But right now, I'm at a point in life where I know God has a plan, and if that plan right now is a little break in treatment, then I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with His plan, right? And I'm also going to ask myself, what is this trying to teach me? And I would say patience. It's trying it's trying to teach me some patience, I think, and then I'm just going to keep exploring and see what it teaches me. So I will say that, you know, got to walk by faith, and I can attest and testify how much that has done for me as far as bringing me peace through, all of these problems, man, and this whole journey with this illness. I always say that this has been a story of faith and the power of positive thinking, and I still stand by that. I refuse to let the negative thoughts come in, and I have faith it's going to work out just the way God has a plan. So, with that, last episode we talked about God's grace and how living in the power of God's grace, no longer being a slave to our sin, right? He forgives us, and His grace gives us that power to get up and no longer um, let that sin have that power over. So I get up and try again. And this week, I wanted to, well, actually, this episode, not this week, right? It's been a couple of weeks, but this episode, I wanted to discuss us giving grace to others, right? So, I mean, we seek God's grace, but do we give grace to others? And that's something I think that is, it's important. And even Jesus tells us accordingly. But I mean, here we are, we ask for God's grace, we ask for His forgiveness. Then how can we deny others that forgiveness? Right? How can we deny others God's grace and our grace through forgiveness? Forgiveness is hard. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I've never struggled with it. I thank God that in recent years, I've truly, truly, truly have found the power of forgiveness. Because we don't forgive for the other people really. I've personal experiences when we forgive, right? Then again, that has no power over us. But forgiveness is choosing to see, your offender through different eyes, right? Through the eyes of Christ. And, we like to say it again, God gives us grace so freely. So we should be given that grace. And I promise you, if if you forgive, right, and I'm sure everybody that can hear my voice right now, there is somebody you've either had to forgive or you need to forgive. And for the ones you need to forgive, and don't hold back any longer. right? Put it in God's hands. Release that power that that person or persons have over you. Forgive what they done, right? I mean, I can't speak for y'all, but I can say personally, there are people that I have done wrong in the past, and I hope they have forgiven me. And as I've over the years gotten better about forgiveness, um, I hope and pray that I have been forgiven for the things I've done to other people. I will say in life, I've tried to do my best, but obviously I've come up short many a times, and I'm sure I've hurt people, and I didn't even realize it. And I hope and pray that they're not sitting around holding a grudge against me. I pray for their forgiveness. So with that, I give that forgiveness now, um, really almost instantly. I don't carry any resentment towards anybody. Anger is a complete and total waste of emotion and energy. So um, again, forgiveness gives us that different viewpoint, seeing people through kind of a different set of eyes, right? You I would say see your enemy as a child of God, right? We're all children, right? We're all children of God, every one of us. And if you can get past the wrong that they've done to you and just try to look at it like that and see them as a child of God. And you know what? Let God take care of the revenge. That's his job. You don't have to be the one to exact that revenge. Some people say, hey, let karma handle it. Well, I say let God handle it. And he will, right? They will face the consequences of their own action, and all of us do. And hopefully on their end they have asked for forgiveness and pray for God's grace. So we're going to keep it good and short, good and simple. I did want to share a verse, and it's my favorite verse. I'm still going to pull it up because I'd hate to, for once go on my memory and butcher it. But this one I will say is probably my all time favorite verse. And this is 1 Corinthians 13:13. And but now faith, hope, and love abide, these three, but the greatest is love. And that one, man, does it not just simplify? I always say have faith, and I always talk about my faith and the hope, right? The hope we all have in our lives. And love is the greatest, right? Faith, hope, and love. And I always talk about loving one another. I've several times thrown out the challenge to do a random act of kindness to show this world some love because, man, it's a crazy, cruel world out there. And there's enough there's enough hate for sure to go around. Some would say, hey, nowadays there's more hate than ever. I don't know if I would agree to that. I think just different times in life, there's always so much hate to go around. Just the hate's a little different right now. But just remember, man, love, grace, forgiveness, patience. We never know what somebody else is going through, right? And you know what? Hey, what a perfect time. I'll throw that challenge out again, right? Random act of kindness. Maybe pay for that meal or that cup of coffee for the person behind you in line. Hold the door open for not maybe just that first person coming through, but you know what? That's second and third too. smile, greet people. Let them see your light shine. Let them feel your positive energy. Let them know that you bring love to this world. And so I challenge everybody. Again, right? It's something I try to do on a daily basis. Some days I come up short, and some days I exceed. So, what I do, I try to bring a little bit of love into this world, and I hope I also do that with this podcast. Something I forgot to mention last episode, and I hope to start. Um, I'm a terrible procrastinator. One of my faults, but something hoping to start soon is I want to kind of like little. I'm not going to call them bonus episodes, but it will be wherever you get my podcast. It'll come out in that same place, but almost kind of like a little weekly devotional. Might just be a Bible verse with a few thoughts on it that I feel called to share. And so I hope to start that soon. I've been wanting to do it longer than I'm going to sit here and admit, but it's been a long time. But the time feels right now. And it may just be once a week. It may be a couple of times a week. And again, wherever you get this podcast, wherever you stream it, it'll just show up as like little bonus episodes. But I'll label it, um, as either a positive message or, like I said, a weekly devotional. And give me some feedback. Those of y'all know how to get in touch with me. Please text me and let me know. For others, my email is fassbenderj, so that's FASSBENDERJAY @gmail. And let me know if that's something that helps, and if it's something that y'all would be interested in, because I definitely am feeling called to go that route. It's going to happen either way, but I would like to get y'all thoughts on it, because I appreciate everybody's encouragement. And again, kind of going in hand what we're talking about, right? It's another way that I'm just trying to spread some love in this crazy world. So with that, brothers and sisters, thank you. It's going to be a short episode. I'm looking at the clock. Might be one of the shortest ones I did in a while. But I love y'all. Y'all will never truly know how much it means to me that y'all join me on this journey, and the encouragement that keeps coming in. So with that, though, I will say I ask for y'all prayers right now that this insurance and infusion center problem gets resolved. So I believe in the power of prayer. I know a lot of people pray, for my illness in general. I'm going to ask for specifically for God's intervention, that we get this resolved and I can resume my treatments. So I can kind of get moving with my life again, because it's kind of on hold. I've had to cut back on a lot of physical activity. And with that, my friends, have faith, right? Always trust in Jesus. He will not let us down. He will be your burden bearer. Give him those burdens. Remember, as he teaches us, right? Forgiveness. We have asked forgiveness from him. He gives it. He gives us that grace, that permission. Well, we need to make sure that we give that forgiveness and that grace to others. Y'all have a great day. And remember, live your spirit.